Aldunda Sakor Sanjufla. Alemuneke one in Santem.
So we've done so much in Brikama so far. Firstly, the word development FENA, which is our flagship.
Yeah.
And then that 500,000 T each ward. And each ward they've been very busy with a lot of activities. Dolie bohol sing, dolie kurang sambat blado, dolie football field that funding kyoli, dolie loptano la dulal deda, dolie marseolo, jamabaya marseolo, and then dolie silol deda, ila silol rehabilitate. So many things. Dolphin is silol deda to teshito.
Okay. Yeah.
You see what I mean? We boost our revenue almost because Jandinkata, they were struggling at around 70, 75 to 80. We took it to 155.
No.
That means we've done so well in clamping down on corruption. And then we started investing. Murunda. Na karam to dinungon la karam mungujo, up to about 300 last year. We doubled that to 600 this year. We've not only done that, but we created job opportunities for over 240 youths into the BAC itself. So that replicates to so many things, and to indirect employment to so many people in the region. So, and then we also bought new Mbali trucks on. We got half, we're waiting for another half. No other half, nada. I believe this year, the experience of the people in terms of Mbalitola management in the region will change drastically.
Yeah.
And that is all true because of we are able to fight corruption and we are able to maximize the revenue. And then we put people first in terms of development to make sure that everywhere in the region get their fair share. Before we came, Nendara campaign on Nidal Blado de Gavoy Brigang and Ganzulgai, no Namu Kanimon, near Namu Kanim Bukafenja. Now, in the second year, we double what we gave in the first year. First year, we dish out 14 million. Second year, we're giving out 28 million. Altogether, 42 million in 2 years.
In 2 years.
And that 42 million is translating into development. Musola na called Fenster, Musole boreholes, 82 boreholes. Now let's sing in West Coast.
82.
Last year alone, 82 boreholes.
Wow.
Now let's sing last year. Council alone on the road development project is about 20 something. With Foundation 221, we've done almost about 40 something with them. We then have Swigam, we then have Gammol, we have Mama Africa Foundation. All of these foundations came together and helped us to a point that, and then I think the other one is Sky Blue or Blue something. All of them came partnered with the council to reach that number of 82 boreholes.
Wow.
Almost every community or every big settlement has 1 or 2 boreholes from them.
That's another because we are on what Birkama area council, Nico Birkama area council, Birkama Dracolef.
Yeah.
Nita Rantola Mandina Renol to Lamenol to Wolman Council Cola, Hanin Tolman Council Cola, Nico Birkama area council, Mol Cameron, Woman Birkama, the Malti, called the Malan Niso. How present are you in all these communities in the region? Because that is very important.
Now we are, and through the word development. This is why the word development is very important to us. Because now we don't dictate what communities need to do with their money. We give the communities the money into their account. We hold them accountable. We tell them few things we look for. Quality, and then number 2, public benefit. The projects you have to implement have to be for the benefit of public. It cannot be for the benefit of an individual. So council ita kodo dila la ita habitu kodo ala korda kono not happening. I boholo ala korda kono not happening. You understand? We don't want those. MRC lo ila korda kono. If you be lo ila korda kono ita kabira, it's not happening. It has to be for the public. Secondly, ita kala just to make sure atule kodo be damo and then the quality has to be maintained. So these are the projects that we want them. These are the guidelines we give them, and we say the rest you determine what you want to do because you know your priorities. Because we know ni kontole what is the priority of the region. Initially, for example, Nema Kunkujang, and then some of these settlements. Ndolanga Nawek Bo to land, and they don't need water as a problem. But their number one problem is water.
It's water.
Because Nawek Ghana.
Yeah.
You know, Nawek Nana that Tilibulo sometimes I can also look more. So don't be a fool killer pompol wutuika Nawek Batu because you man below in that. So we told them what they went for bowls. They started building bowls in their communities. It's other villages in other regions. You know, Musolumin don't complain about garden and Fengul. Now the communities are getting something, and then we are having a big community is having something on an annual basis. And then for us, Nathar and over time, Tenung Mandinaring and many other places would not have this problem. In fact, you know, for deliberately, before we start any capital projects around Brikama or anywhere else, we make sure what development follow a job. What solely a busy tala. Mobi it also have a busy and they're working.
Yeah.
Once they're doing that, then whatever you're doing in Brikama, or Brikama Masa or this and that, people book out for you know Brikama the Malem West Coast.
West Coast.
West Coast. So we are looking at from a coming for everyone needs to have their fair share of
the development.
Their fair the fair share that they contribute to the council. Very, very important.
Very important.
Yeah.
Council, the biggest challenge, I guess, was garbage. One of their biggest challenge, garbage, waste collection, and in drainage. Yes. Because some feel like canal and I was one of those people first year made a big excuse and go look. You know, not a sign. Ebe kelolo kono hani sign. Email a house put no in order. But getting into the second year, Sama Canal, garbage truck solo, ale doors and wall natale. Some of them are coming. So I don't know whether you guys are going to be 100% covered. Regional be covered no la nini motor nata. Is there any other plans of increasing? What is let's start with the garbage collection first. Because I remember what jana barangaji lengamrale clearly think you marse be jana told all you know marse
yes
because wall got to complain all about it.
But with the new trucks that we have problem on the wall and so blood
okay
man so blood so but so blood on the way coming because no fan and sand no bulldozer fan and sand so be so blood nata metala ndolle better you know thankful because the trucks we have are very, very solid and very good. So trucks will apart. So sign coming in most areas in coming for Willem to go Dulale identifying a Fumolium Balitul 5G.
Okay.
The near 5G on a weekend basis we come and clear it because we are not able to provide household collection because Motobal
follow.
So every time we're checking and then they are on transit coming. We hope in ending of the time. I think the estimated time that is given now is middle of May towards the ending of May.
Okay.
So once we have that one, then Balito will still have problem of Balito
because the region is
very big. We'll still have problem of Balito, but because we've done a trial before, we know our problem. So we know if we have one. What we want to do is Sanamentering will have its own one. And then Olyundum will have one. Busumbala will have one. Brikama will have one. Kombo South will have one. This is our major problem areas when it comes to waste. Kombo South Fango, Mansia back. But we want that second Fengonying to be able to go after these other ones.
Okay.
So we want to start with that and then see how we are able to manage with that one. Because we want to start bi-weekly collection. That's what we want to start.
Okay.
So Nina that will like a Monday. You know that next Monday they will come in the following Monday. You know what I mean? Because we had this rota system that we were doing before when we launched the Senea. But we were totally dependent on private businesses.
Yeah.
We have a problem, so everything collapsed. So now that we are having our own, we still want to encourage private partnership because councils alone cannot do this.
Yeah.
It's very, very difficult. You know, but if you partner with them, at least ning tolingan tasodoje, itoli tasodoje, ntoluka collection of will mitigate it a lot. But I believe the experience people will have will so next year, depending on if now what we will do is because we don't want to do, you know, if you do like KMC, it also has its own disadvantage.
Yeah.
Because you will end up struggling. The whole fleet will struggle.
Yeah.
If you bring in too much fleet, you struggle as well.
Yeah.
So what you do is you look at the need. So we start with 5. Each of them, you provide them with 1.
Yeah.
Now, there will be one that they will not be able to cover. And then you look at that one, you try and supplement with. You add another one. You add a vehicle for that one because you know now with 2 they should be able to cover. You would also have regions where the vehicle will not be able to fill up easily. You know, because one of the things we realize, these vehicles sometimes it takes them 2 to 3 days to fill up before bitala
Katabon.
because 20 kg are compactless. So a lot of our waste near bankola element money you waste do buka sia. You see what I mean? So with that way we will be able to manage effectively. Then Motobalu, we might still have what we call a collection point.
Okay. Where
we will want people to, like, for example, our dome site is Tambana. Tambana is very far for people that are here.
Yeah.
So we want to also encourage tricycles. Donkey carts, we have a bit of a problem with them. Because you look at collect na muliale na ya problem. So but we at the moment we are not complaining too much because we ourselves are handicapped.
Yeah.
So if you are not providing the service to the people to come back,
you cannot discourage. Yeah.
You have a problem. So we said to people, so we try to take that burden for now. But once we are able to provide it to household, then we will try to have this proper regulation of donkeys. So either we create somewhere closer to them, they come and dump, they pay, and then we come and collect there and then dump it.
Dump it.
You see, that way, we don't put too much burden on ourselves, which we cannot, but we share the burden with everybody in terms of household collection. Ndolunga collect. Now, like I told you, we are doing bi-weekly, once every 2 weeks.
Yeah.
Now, before the 2 weeks, the donkey carts can collect it, they dump it on the, because we still have these big trucks. Many along go, there will be a shovel. And then those trucks will also still be able to go and collect the communal dump sites.
Yeah.
Or the illegal one. Yes. So this is how we are looking at waste management. And our Fengonyo. At the moment, the problem we have is, we were expecting these trucks as early as ending of January.
Okay.
But Minketa, what we are told is that trucks will manufacturer. So when they got the order, the manufacturer went into production of these trucks. So Kabri produced, they have to test them, and then they ship them.
Okay.
So now we are on the shipping part.
Okay.
You know, but in the meantime, we try to pay our part so that before the vehicles come, it would have met us, paid everything.
Yeah.
So it's not our problem. So when the vehicles come, they just give it to us. We just go on that. Because inauguration business, then they go in the next year and start working. Yeah.
That's good. What about the drainage system called Sama Canal?
Yes.
Because one problem when it comes to, especially in Brekama.
No, we're working on that. I think in the, maybe not next week, but the following week, we're going to start some drainage work. We want to start it as early as possible. What we, drainage also, these things sometimes is a nightmare. The problem you have is you have many stakeholders that you have to engage, even for simple things like drainage. You have to engage, NDMA has to be part of it, National Disaster Management. You have to be engaged about it to know what is the specification. You have to also engage NRA because it's to do with the roadside. So we engaged NRA, they came, they did the survey, they are supposed to do some of the specifications, and then we try and engage. I think we need to do a follow-up on that because they came, but they get too busy, that's the problem, And so they need to, we are also doing our own designs that we need to share with them. And then hopefully we can get that sorted and we can be able to start something there. But one of the things, there are certain areas, many pre-existing drainage benunjel. But our drainage, after so many years of neglect,
Sukita.
Ebele sukute ebe boita. Ima saku brikama la gunjur Johnson. Drainage be one side, the other side drainage be obe boita. So minu be boita sign. We have to start cover the leveling with the previous drainage. That one is easy because it has a pre-existing one.
Yeah.
Minimum pre-existing one also. That's where you have issues with, because then the leveling, the topography, and all of the thing, they bring all the ideas engineering terms. Because for us, we want to do this like yesterday. We don't want to wait till very. But these people have their own way of doing things, and it takes time. It's very frustrating for a politician, because a politician wants to do things so that he doesn't want to attract much criticism and attention. But these people don't work like that. They want to do their study, feasibility, topography, all these things. And then you are like, well, how long will this take? We don't have that time, you know?
Yeah.
So this is the problem. But hopefully, we'll be able to start something as early. The target is before end of the month. Otherwise, we'll start by the beginning of next month. But not the later, we are following the technicalities. This is the technicalities that are involved in this. They are a nightmare.
Yeah. So let's look at all of this, because of taxes.
Yeah. So one of the things massive big tank for septic tanks.
Septic tanks.
So we now have two big ones that are on standby.
Yeah.
Because you can't over the years is junior that too we were having a whole lot of problems with you can someone in Asaba. That forest or non forestry, national environment, it was a big problem. But this is rainwater. It's not a sewage, or it is not other word. But you can't understand. So we were having all those battles left, right, and center. And then they had to take them to police. We had to go and tell the police and then show the evidence, and then they released them, and the whole day the job is not done. It's a real big nightmare.
What about Birka Seto? I think especially the fish market, that area. Complain kasi ako marito ba?
Fish market, sewage let walk in don't drainage. Fish market Benjamin. You need masingola be kono. Me along go. Ngamra this for G kalem for Jaika project lem. Japan na government project. Imagine a fish market land in the first place.
Yeah.
But masengole bije me alon ko fish market la jinoron yalo ni pareta ni fish market ni la fish do ko be ni pareta e ka jebe jibi ka clean ne water la e joni be floss o be kata dumal nada do duma o joni fish la won wol ne fengo min be karaje wala kana ke jinoru mo nyende o jinoru mo nyin ani tol fana cold store so je they have a cold store underneath which produces about 14,000 liters on every, I think, 3 days or 4 days or a week or something like that. But it produces a lot of water, liquid. So this liquid, ninga bulani na drainage kono rain drainage a tambita dawla go be sun kandila. So ndahanya na ngabulani drainage kono aka finde.
So mno bekela wala solution o tedo.
So the only solution ngamen zero wala nka confine abedame nga tanko londa la ka sabaka tabo. Because so na isolate from the rain drainage system onye. Memo problem ode fish market ngolu because previously Ministry of Fisheries yale tolbolo koto they pay all their dues to ministry, not to us.
Yeah.
Ma je muso la ka complain ko ike tax le signafla. Ministry get tax, council get tax. Ndol na da fo ke sign tol dal tax la bayri tax fula. Ndol babula la jele ministry ka tax. But the problem Ministry Darboe, it is their problem, but they left it to us. So Kabirin Doltata, what was happening at BAC is BAC was saying it's not our problem. It is the problem of the ministry because they are the one collecting juice there and the fish market is still under their control. So Kabirin Doltata, no, this is a problem for our residents and our market vendors. So we have to deal with the problem. That's why we went for this big septic tank Kana ofenan to help us with it.
Yeah.
Follow. Ninga nyin tankin ningol sambaje. 10,000 liters, 14,000 liters.
Yeah.
Eka almost 2 days kala janni ba be saba. But this tank ba nyune mindina is 20,000 liters. Aka 2 trips lega be saba.
Abisab.
So it's about 40,000 liters minka bo in a matter of 3-4 days. So sign, wo moto ba nyin katale every Tuesday, every Thursday, and then I mununje ning assemble warta. It will go either Sunday or Saturday. Okay. This is how we are managing it.
Okay.
This samanata, rainwater pumping to that one is another problem.
That's what I'm saying. Nin samanata. Now you are able to manage it with the but nin samanata. Do you think?
So samanata, what we have to do is we have to that 2 days or 4 days routine would have to change to daily.
Daily.
Yeah.
Puruje kanalo.
Okay. Every day we have to go cast sabaita. Nin samanata the next day alena sabaita. We have to bear that. It costs us a lot of money. Because fuel all use kata bong. But we have to do that. But because minketa, would you in Japanese old balola, ya find they need a sewage system. Sato need a sewage level. Near sewage system was a woolem kamajul kataning pipe omen. Come remember to Babu. Then he should have a treatment center at some point.
Yeah.
Then he being connect la wala near connectable junior bakala in the sewage system.
Yeah.
But because we don't have a sewage system, we only have few drainage systems. Ni we have sewage don't let drainage kono you have a problem. Akudula belesungan. This is the problem.
This is the problem.
So that's why we don't want to do that. So left kate isolate as it is. Nga septic tank water nga we use kate
Bondi.
So nin samanara. In fact, yajal saying septic tank killing will be dedicated for it. Wala mwaramanyende. The mandima goes for commercial and then sometimes go for public like schools or hospitals, and then military barracks, police, fire service, and other people in the region. So, but this Samanara will have to withdraw that from
all
that
of
service.
them.
So all of them have to now dedicate to fish market.
Wow.
Because fish market produces that much water. And then number two, you have this sort of. So the drainage that we want to do now, we want to be able to depend on that drainage because Samaj Union sub. So by the time the fish market is isolated, Samaj Union would be able to go on its own, where make its way Donaya Katani Marakisala bomb back on a generator. That would help us. But we will also need the Sovuloning greater that they need to clear the waterway on the other side, Kafindin the Banyan, because NDML and the but it's long time saying Jebe Sukikan. So no more of an deda Janan Samatema. Job block la. So we have to do that one as well. Oh. We inherited too many problems, but the problem will be compounded because of corruption at the council. So until we are able to fight that, we cannot be able to do anything. So now we are on the right path. We are generating revenue. We are developing in our own way. And then we want to do all of these things not at the expense of the other regions because all the other wards have their own challenges. We don't want to say, you hold on to your problem, we deal with only Brikama. No. We want to deal with all these problems one at a time.